Hello and welcome to the Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. I'm your host, Crypto Jack, coming to you live this Monday, December 7th, 2020. Bitcoin remains moving sideways, holding seemingly strong above 19K most weekend long. And we've opened this week poised to make another move. Meanwhile, sideways action in Bitcoin means alts have room to post gains. And one look at crypto bubbles shows us mostly green in this markets today. We've got gainers of 15% across some of the movement leaders this Monday, including about a 15% gain on Nexo, Sushi, Blockstacks up about 13%, Band about 12%, Waves about 7%, Uni 8%, and among a bunch of other gainers that we will likely explore later in the show with our alt analysis. In the meantime, I'm going to introduce one of our lead analysts, Alexander Pearson here. How you doing, Alex?
Hello. I'm doing great. Isn't that such a funny headline? They express strong support for crypto regulation because they're worried about the sovereignty of central banks. Well, the existence of stablecoins doesn't make any bank less sovereign, but it does threaten the monopoly of central banks. I mean, all the central banks are still sovereign. They can operate on their own all they want. They can, right? That's what sovereignty is.
Indeed.
So I think that's a little bit of talking out of the side of their mouth on the G7 nations here. You know, what they really mean to say is that they threaten the bank's monopoly on the creation of currency.
Indeed. Yeah, that's one of our lead stories today that we'll be exploring once we get into the news. G7 nations express strong support for crypto regulation that Alex was just kind of previewing on the screen. One of our stories we're going to jump into in a bit.
Yes, I shouldn't look at Jack's screen, guys. I didn't mean to jump ahead so far.
No, it's all good. No, you're actually, no problem at all, dude. That's the screen the audience is looking at, and that's exactly what we're going to be previewing later for today's news. Thanks for covering that, Alex. Okay, just to kind of quickly, what we'll do next is bring everybody up to speed. If you're not familiar with our show schedule, if you're new here, in the first hour, we're going to cover the intro, Bitcoin, Ethereum, of course, the majors. Before we touch on alts and maybe Forex, finally for hour two, we generally move into your chart requests. Any other questions people leave in the live chat, we do get to by hour two. We do cover the news, and we slowly move toward the exits by this latter half of the second hour. Okay. Just going to double check if everything is dialed in here. Probably turn on a little bit of music before we move over to Alex's screen. Of course, are joined by Alex. Joined by Alex today. I think Jason says he's going to be in a little later, so he'll probably join us midstream. In the meantime,
he said he has a dentist appointment. A likely story.
You don't buy it, do you?
No. Next time he's going to be like, "Oh yeah, I got a flat tire on my way to the kitchen."
We might have to grill him when he gets back, see if the story adds up. But with that said, I'm going to quickly hop into the live chat, shout everyone out, see if everything looks good, get the live chat window here refreshed and pulled up. Very nice. Okay, let's quickly shout out a few. Oh, I see Longbeard was here early this morning. Longbeard, got to get my back to work. Have a good day, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so Longbeard probably busy doing his Monday morning routine. NCAP Futures is in here. We got S. Hyatt in here saying evening. Damian Hughes, likes on your way in, people. Indeed, Damian Hughes reminding the audience, don't forget to hit the like button as soon as you come in. B-Flow saying, hola, does that mean crypto can't collect 200 after passing go? You know what, B-Flow? Despite this fuddish type story making the rounds today on the newswire of G7 nations talking about crypto regulation, apparently Bitcoin hasn't even blinked. So I think in the past we might have seen a story like this headline just as market happens to dip. Today doesn't seem to even like I say blink in the eyes of FUD like this coming from the EU or the G7.
It's really only a threat to stable coins, and technically, because the price of stable coins don't go up or down, I mean, they're not supposed to. We probably wouldn't see as big of a market reaction as we would if they were like, we support heavier regulations on cryptocurrencies in general. It seems kind of specific to stablecoins in this case that they're worried about.
Indeed.
As we know, they were all super startled the other year by Libra. I
Yep.
think that's what really put
Precisely.
the bee in their bonnet. This is all about Libra still.
Precisely.
Excuse me, DM.
Indeed. Yeah, they actually did change their name. I think that was announced last week. Maybe something we'll cover. But we did kind of talk regulations and stablecoins being on their radars last week. So this, I guess, is just kind of a developing story that we've been following for a while now. With that said, I think I'm going to jump scenes right now, put the music on, and let Alex take it away from the Bitcoin chart. Let me just switch scenes here. Here we go. All right, we've got Alex's screen up, and everything looks check. I'm going to quickly run over here and hit the music. Do let us know if audio levels are good. Do you hear Alex clearly? Do you hear me clearly? Is the music not too strong? Do let us know. Okay, we've got you on the screen, Alex. Feel free to take it away through your BTC analysis. And a reminder, I will be collecting your requests during the course of the live chat, guys. You know what to do. Alex, it's finally yours. Take it away.
All right. Hey guys. So kind of a boring weekend on the markets. DeFi pumped a little bit from off of its lows, but there weren't that many huge moves. New, which got added to Coinbase, that had quite a pump. I know some of our general chat people brought it up, and I had never heard of it. It's kind of hard to stay on top of everything. But that had a big weekend. Other than that, Bitcoin traded pretty much, sideways. So, weekend starts over here, weekend ends over here. On Saturday, I put on a short for our premium members. We have a full PTP signal coming here on Saturday. So our oscillators crossed under. WADA is giving both a momentum and a volatility signal here. As you can see, explosion level is rising, and our momentum bars have crossed above the explosion level, giving a WADA signal here. And of course, we're underneath the baseline, which is when we start to look for shorts in the PTP system. So that being said, I did have a little bit of evidence to the contrary, which is that we got a bottom feeder signal here that came in also the same day. I ended up putting on the short because bottom feeder is supposed to be for bottoms. Maybe this part's a bottom. Maybe we continue on from here. But since we've just crossed under the baseline in this area, I think the PTP signal makes more sense to take. And at the same time, with bottom feeder, because the take profit is here at 20,300, and the stop loss on here, let's pull out Quadriga here, set it on our short settings. And let's move back to the correct day. So our take profit is a full $450 above, or excuse me, the stop loss is a full $450 above the take profit here. So I figured, both of these trades could actually end up completing. We make one more fake out high above, above, what's this high over here? Well, this is just below 20K here, but let's say, 20,200, 20,300. We hit bottom feeders, take profit, and then we dump on the fake out. So, that's kind of how I reason things out. The short is still open. It's in profit. So we took that trade at 19,220. Right now we're at 19,150. So slightly in profit, but the first take profit is all the way down at 18,100. So our take profit on the short is basically this support level right here. Then there's a couple more here. Let's get this out of the way. You got too many lines. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on. So yeah, so you can see how the trade develops here, or how the trade may develop here. And what I also like about this short is it gives us room to be wrong and to exit gracefully. So the baseline is starting to kind of move sideways along with Bitcoin here. Baseline is, let me get out of replay mode. Let's take a look at our data window. No. Stop that. Baseline is at 19,678 currently. All right. So if we end up back above the baseline, it's like, well, we can exit the short gracefully. We get back out. We go long. At that point, we'll probably get a cross up here. We could get a PTP signal, and we take that long. And if it doesn't cross back below the baseline, then we stay short, we hedge up, and we just hold on. And likely, even if we don't dump all the way to like 13K or whatever actually reasonable target there may be, if we have a correction here, we can still hit take profit 1 and then come back to break even. This could happen a couple times before anything actually happens here on Bitcoin. So I think overall, there's a lot to recommend this trade to us. There's a lot more volume below us than there is above us. Price always seeks liquidity. I don't see that much liquidity above us. It's just kind of blue skies. Other evidence to the contrary for the short thesis, these dumps are starting to get smaller in volume. So sellers really stepped in hard here, stepped in a little less hard here, a little less hard, a little less hard here. But that's kind of circumstantial evidence at best, I would say. Okay, so Bitcoin's trading sideways. What else does that really tell us about the market? Well, as Jack mentioned at the beginning of the show, often when Bitcoin trades sideways, that's an opportunity for alts to have an alt season. People want to replicate the gains that they made for Bitcoin. They're sitting on Bitcoin that's literally doing nothing. So they thought, hey, let me put this Bitcoin into a trade. So for the majority of last week, Bitcoin dominance traded sideways as we had kind of assumed it was going to. We had a big movement here off of the highs, just kind of meandered upwards. But I think that could change by the end of this week. We're just we're kind of wandering up into this resistance area. And as you know, a couple weeks ago we had that big FU candle where we moved up and we broke out of resistance. And then by the end of the week, we closed back beneath it hard, super hard. So as you can see, we had enough momentum to just end up closing all the way down here. So I expect this will likely continue to the downside. Maybe not this week. We could get another week of sideways and then a third week of sideways before we finally break down. But one way or another, I think this downtrend has yet to complete. And of course, if we just break down out of this area completely, well then, all bets are off. That will be quite an alt season if that happens.
Indeed, I'd like to quickly point out Peckham08 has his own particular thesis on what Bitcoin does next, and he wrote, I've been going through the order books. He thinks we go up. Daily candle patterns show they are consolidating the top and bullish engulfing this week. So, according to Peckham, we're consolidating here. This is the sideways, and he expects a bullish engulfing candle to greet us sometime this week. So, Peckham08 with the bullish take. What do you think, Alex? You think this consolidates when we break up?
We're definitely consolidating in this area. I 100% we're consolidating in this area. To me, it looks like we're distributing. I'll head back on over. So let me go back to a lower time frame here. All the volume's been dumped at the top here. Often in accumulation, you see bottom, like in the middle of the area or towards the bottom. All the volume is up here at resistance. I really feel like, I feel like these are more signs of distribution to me. But a bullish engulfing candle would be a phenomenal confirmation signal. That would probably put us above the baseline. We've got a bullish engulfing candle, and then we can go, aha. Now I know for sure what direction Bitcoin is going. But while Bitcoin is underneath the baseline, I think we should only be looking for shorts, and we have a short signal. So I'm taking it. That's where I'm at.
Yep, just wanted to
and Bitcoin breaking down as we speak. Oh my goodness, just broke below 19K.
1905.
Well,
oh no, we're dumping. Oh damn, indeed we are.
Yeah.
Indeed,
well,
indeed.
I guess we will see if there's follow through on that. But I mean, it looks look, the 12-hour baseline here not looking so hot. What's the 4-hour baseline look like? Oh man, we're crossing below the 4-hour baseline too. 3-hour baseline. Oh, putting in a top above zero or top below zero here. Not looking so hot. Yeah, man. I think we're below every single baseline daily and below right now. So I feel relatively secure in my bearish position right now, whereas perhaps in the past I should not have been as secure as I was in my bearish position, considering where we are. But right now, all evidence is all signs are pointing to yes.
Yeah, kind of tempted to short or hedge up here. Last night I was debating it. It would be nice to protect some of the fat gains we've seen the last few weeks, but I'm not sure if I have the cojones to short this particular spot here. I am kind of a... Sorry?
No, the rule is, as long as we're below the baseline, you should be hedged up.
Indeed, indeed. For the aggressive hedging strategies that CC is so good at. I'm going to quickly highlight a couple because a few more people showed up a little later here. And I do want to welcome everyone, and especially the regulars who did come in here a little later. Yorick is here, and he said, hello everybody. Yorick, of course, being one of the green status subscriber members, supporters of the channel. Much love. And right after him came Crypto Caveman, also a helpful supporter of the channel, and he says, what's going on, CC team? Big shout out to Justin Wise. Yes, big shout outs to Justin, big shout outs to Crypto Caveman. Much love. Yorick has a request in as well, and Yorick also does mention great trade call, Alex, on XMR USDT. I guess you posted a Monero trade to the group.
I did that over the weekend, so we'll get there.
Must have nailed it, because Yorick is congratulating you on it. But yeah, that catches up to the latest live chat, and back to you, Alex.
Thanks. I appreciate that, Yorick. You know, I recently restarted the CC official signals. As you guys know, we kind of lapsed on the CC official signals for a month while Justin was gone. So I just wanted to, start fresh at the beginning of the month, and I was feeling a little rusty and I was worried, but just been, following. I've been doing stuff PTP style, and it's been working out. So I feel pretty good about it. I feel like I'm slowly starting to knock some sand off my shoes, some rust out of my joints. Feeling pretty good. I mean, Forex has been going good for the last couple months, and Cap can attest to that. I've been kind of nailing Forex all over the place, but crypto's its own beast, and I think it's one of the hardest markets to trade successfully. It's so volatile. So that means there's so many emotions involved, Anyway, yeah. Thanks again. We'll look at that. So as we were discussing, Bitcoin dominance is it's looking like we could get a reversal, but it could take a couple weeks. But I do expect us to get down into this area. Starting this morning, this has changed just a little bit. Earlier this morning, alts were looking very good compared to Bitcoin, and they're still looking better than Bitcoin does. But right now, everything has just turned red. So this is starting to cross below its daily baseline. It may do that at the end of today if Bitcoin has a really rough day. Because remember, all of these perpetual futures are denominated in USD, the same as Bitcoin, so they tend to follow the Bitcoin USD value. DeFi perp is hanging out at resistance right now. I pointed this out to the members in my market analysis this morning. Thanks a lot. Baseline is useless with this little data right in here. If the 3-day closes like this, it's incredibly bullish for the DeFi perp. The daily, it's not super exciting in this spot. We have kind of a bearish divergence that has not yet confirmed on our oscillator. WADA, as you can see down here, is we don't have enough momentum, we don't have enough volatility to really do much here with DeFi perp. But the 3-day looks strong. We have a bottom above 0. We've got this really incredible looking bounce off of support, just a nice reaction. We went down here and then we just kept going. And the 3-day does close in 5 hours, but it's not closed yet. So it's something to keep our eyes on here. I really feel like DeFi has another leg up. We can retest this area. DeFi is also holding privacy coins are also holding pretty strong here above their previous swing high back in August. So as you can see on the 3-day, we've wicked down in this area. Then we kind of wick up. We wick up hard and are rejected. Now we're kind of hanging around in this area of this kind of trading range of volume. We could still break down from this area. On the daily, we have yet to make a higher high after this kind of blow off top here. And if we put in a lower one here and kind of broke this trend visible here, if we broke that trend, I would probably not want to be in privacy coins, because at that point we'd break down to retest this area. And if that didn't hold, then we'd break all the way back down. Mentioned XMR. Let's open up XMR USDT. This was a trade that I took for the group over the weekend. It might only end up hitting our first take profit. So let's kind of do a rewind here. And on. Here you go. Boom. There we go. So this is the trade I took right here. We have kind of a confirmation of our PTP signal over here. And then I may have cheated a little bit on this part here. Rather than having a full top and then bottom, we started to top and then instead just curled up. And I was like, that's a continuation signal. We've got volatility, we've got momentum. So, yeah, we took this signal on Saturday, and just this morning we hit our take profit on it. Take profit 1 was hit. Obviously, this moves with it. Our take profit 1 was actually 144.11. Or excuse me, 144.08. The high here is 144.11. To be determined if XMR ends up continuing with this breakout above resistance, and if it does, gonna really enjoy riding that. And if we break down, then it's gonna be a sign for a good short. If we break down out of this very strong looking trend right here. Exchange coins are holding strong above support, but I'm not convinced yet. Need a strong reaction off of this and a new high before I'm a believer. But it doesn't look like dog crap. It's not awful, but it's not there yet. SHIPERP is still hanging out here at resistance, but the 3-day has held pretty strong above kind of this support level here. Resistance, support. I like this for continuation, as long as we can stay above the daily baseline, of course. If Bitcoin has a really rough day and we get below the baseline, then I fully expect us to come back down and retest the support area. We'll see what happens then. Let me turn off Quadriga right here. It's kind of getting in our way.
I'll take a quick opportunity to catch up on a couple of comments here. Yep. One of them related, of course, to you saying, you taking the helm of these signals, and recently for CC, and ANCAP Future says, you've been doing a great job, Alex, thank you. And ANCAP Futures also says, to be honest, he misses Justin's calls on some ETFs like JJT and the more stable things, but Alex, you kill it every time, and we always support you. So basically you're getting a big thumbs up from ANCAP Futures saying you're doing a great job, and thank you for your stewardship of the signals, I guess, in the meantime. So
thanks. Yeah, I have not taken back over ETFs right now. I'm focusing on Forex and crypto. ETFs and CFDs are something I need to get into, but there's already so many markets I'm looking at. I should probably get a list of some of the favorite ones right now. Maybe if we just had like a smaller list of ETFs to look through, like just a better small basket, then that would be something that I could handle and do a bit more of. So obviously there's HGY and a few of the other ones that are bond market related and stuff like that. That would be good to dip our toes into.
I'm gonna couple.
I'll put it on the priority list, but I know you're not complaining. But you're right.
Yep, for sure. Definitely good to bring us to our attention what the crowd wants, right? What the members want in terms of analysis. If you do feel we haven't been hitting certain markets that you are looking for analysis on that you are used to getting, do let us know, and we'll certainly put it on the roadmap. I see. I see the chat kind of lighting up. Since we've dipped below 19K, the whole chat is stirring. I see BFlow saying, looking like a 4-hour short on Bitcoin in 1.5 hours. Khalid Hazimi says, Bitcoin under 9,000. Ratchet Videos just joined the live chat, and they're saying, sell and run, the market's dumping, ? Swing Setup Incorporated, says Ratchet Videos. Interesting. Ratchet Videos looking for a swing. Randall McMurphy just joined the chat, says hello. Welcome.
What do you mean Ratchet Videos looking for swing?
Well, he says,
is this guy spamming our chat and you're...
It doesn't look quite like bot spam. This looks just someone a little over eager, but indeed, if they do turn out to be too spammy, I will mute them. But moving along, Randall McMurphy joined the chat. Looks like a new member here. Welcome, Mr. Randall. 100 Maca says hello. BFlow, I second that. Great work, Alex. 100 Maca, what's up with Justin? Haven't been watching for a while. Well, welcome back to the channel in that case, Maca. Justin's taken a little time off, but in the meantime, the rest of the team has stepped in. We do the daily show. We do all the market analysis and requests you guys like on a regular basis. So stay tuned. I'm glad to have you back, Mr. 100 Maca. And Cat Futures, I trade every market and every price action. I'm greedy, and he's even into some penny stocks. We have Jays Were Black in the live chat saying yo, and T-Dub, your signals have been on point. Unfortunately, I used Profit Trader app and it didn't trigger 3 winners. Oh, that's unfortunate, T-Dub. The app let you down, but Alex's signals did come through. Ratchet Video says, I'm not spam, sorry for the caps. Yes, he's not spam. I had a feeling he wasn't a spammer, but he was. Okay. His caps button appears to be broken. But that catches us up with the live chat. Alex, back to you.
Okay. All right, so I think that's enough for the overall alt markets right now. As you can see, this really dependent on how we finish out this week right here. Mid-perp has held really strong here. As you can see on the 3-day, we're literally hanging out at resistance. This is all resistance right here. So are we dumping a whole bunch of volume into resistance and then we break down and retest this area? Or do we break down further? There's an awful lot of volume down here on mid-perp. We never retested this area like I wanted us to right back here. You can see I still have my old drawings like here. Where's it going to go to? Well, it just came here and then it bounced back up. Retested resistance, but we do not have a breakout yet on mid-perp. So it's not necessarily time for us to go all in on alts, even though Bitcoin has traded sideways, because if Bitcoin dumps super hard, the alts may pump on their Bitcoin pairings, but we could lose USD value if we take trades, especially if we take them spot. At that point, we should probably only be using Binance margin or something to snipe the Bitcoin pairings. We'll look at that. Alt perp here, dumping the hardest out of the alt indices, and we are under the daily baseline. And we do not have a short signal yet on alt perp. We just don't have enough volatility. We're still within this consolidation triangle. But all it takes is one break. So this is something to keep an eye on right here. Obviously, if we break up, great signal to go long. But that hasn't happened yet. So keep our eyes on this. BNB perp. Ooh, looking so rough. I hope I can take a short signal on this. Breaking down from this point of control. 3-day bearish divergence right here. A lot of bearish divergences. So our oscillator is telling us this has really started to peter out. We're below the 3-day baseline here as well. What's the weekly look like on BNB? Oh my god, he's dead! Stop kicking him! No! He's dead already! Oh, no, he's not dead yet. He's about to be. This looks rough. We don't have a weekly signal here yet. We don't have any volatility here. Basically, BNB is still trading sideways, but it is pointed downwards. I guess is the best way I can describe it. After this weekly close up here into resistance, we haven't put in any bullish signs. Crawl below the daily baseline here. So we're below the daily and the 3-day and the 12-hour and the 4-hour. Oh, well, we're still above the 3-hour baseline, guys, so fingers crossed. All right, why don't we do a few requests, and then I want to look at the broader markets a little bit.
All right,
what we got?
let's do it. Let me quickly pull up some requests we have stocked here. Maybe first I'll cover a few little comments that just came in. Doug is saying buy the dip. Bflow says the 4-hour short. He's getting a signal for 4-hour short, but the 4-hour bottom feeder is also signaling for him, so he can't make his life easy. LOL. Peckham08, I moved the majority of my portfolio to VeChain last night. Okay, someone's bullish on the VeChain. T-Dub, did you short BNB into Bitcoin? How about a BNB ADA pair chart? Bitcoin trades, or BNB trades against ADA. T-Dub, I wasn't aware of that.
No, I think he means BNB Bitcoin or ADA Bitcoin.
Gotcha. Okay. With that said, yes, that would have been quite unusual. With that said, we will get started with a few requests, and I'm going to start at the top of the list. These are the comments that questions that came in first. Let's pull those up now. Here we go. First comment was came from Dark FTL. What's the estimated growth of NMR numeraire? God, I can't pronounce NMR right now.
Yeah, numeraire.
He's asking about numeraire.
You're asking how high can it move?
Yeah, I guess that's what he means by this estimated growth question.
All right, let's look at it. Let's look it up. I believe this is going to be on our DeFi coin list. Let me see. NMR.
Numenaire. Now I got it. Numenaire.
No, it's numeraire.
Oh, it's numeraire.
Yep.
Huh.
Nothing really for us to do right here. We don't have a long signal. We don't have a short signal. Okay, we'll take a look at the USDT pairing. But I imagine it's probably going to look a little worse than this. Yeah, starting to cross below the daily baseline. I would probably, if I was long here, I'd probably exit as soon as we cross below this. We'll most likely retest this area, maybe even this area of resistance here, support, retest that support here. As long as we're below the baseline on the daily, I definitely wouldn't want to cross. I definitely wouldn't want to take it long, and we don't have any volatility or momentum to speak of. So, no, I would just stay out of it for right now. Nothing to do.
All right, Dark FTL. I hope that covers your numeraire request. Thank you so much for clarifying the pronunciation of NMR. Thank you. All right, moving on to the next request. Here we come from Ruben Santos. He's got a trio or a 3-pack of requests, but these are all quality picks that we do have to look at. The first one's gonna be, of course, ZIL. Let's take a look at ZIL.
Can't not look at ZIL. Okay, I can't complain about that. ZIL making new highs. ZIL's just taking off here. I really should have taken Zill on probably. It's really hard to take a signal when we're pegged like this. You know, the ideal place is either take a signal over here where we got a firm continuation signal, or down here. Let's pull out our baseline. No, we couldn't have done it down here. Your only place was using a. We don't really cross until here. Anyway. I think at this point it's just kind of gotten away from us. If we can get a pullback of some kind, that would be wonderful. But we still could this week. As a matter of fact, we've got. I would love to see us pull back to this area right here, 29.30 cents. I think there's a good chance for a continuation for Zill right here. We even have maybe even a retest of like 26 cents. So like the weekly high. But this is strong momentum right here on the weekly. I think we're going to get a continuation here for Zill. I just want to get it on a pullback because this spot right here doesn't have a great place for us to set a stop. We have to set it like all the way down here. It's just, we want to get a good pullback to this area. So what might that look like? Just get like kind of a return to retest this. So kind of boom, down into this area, continuation. But yeah, I do like Zill on this spot. Zill does look good here. Just try and get a continuation signal and then hop on.
All right, question number 2. Request number 2 from Ruben Santos is going to be Theta, the up and coming video, peer-to-peer video-ish platform that's getting hyped pretty big this alt season.
Last week, I put on a Theta Bitcoin long here. Or, no, it was here. Yeah, put it on here. We hit take profit 1. We're probably about to be stopped out at break even. As far as, we don't have another signal beyond that as far as the daily. I imagine we could probably pull back all the way, retest the baseline here, or retest lows. I'm not looking to long this spot. Weekly, we still don't even have the confirmed weekly signal, but I imagine we'll get it. We've crossed this trend line here. We'll get the weekly signal. We can come back up and retest the weekly baseline. I think there's room for Theta possibly to run here on its Bitcoin pairing. Let's look on over at the USDT pairing. There's the PTP long signal you could have taken here this day, which was, I think this was the same day I took the XMR signal. So this was Saturday. Sunday, Monday. Okay, this was Friday then. That being said, we don't have a signal right here. We're going to finish the day crossed under. We're starting to lose volatility. I don't want to buy this at a high like this. We're trading at right around the previous high still. I would want to see a pullback on Theta before I really go hard into this. It did like a weekly baseline. Theta pulled a good 10x, and it hasn't pulled back yet. Let it pull back. Okay, it did a 10x, it hasn't pulled back. It broke, it broke the weekly trend, however you want to draw it. We've got this log trend here that's broken. All right, it's a log trend. There's no good way to draw the. Oh well, then I guess we draw the linear like this. It could still work. However, In that case, I would still say we would need to retest down here before I would want to see continuation. So no to theta. And what's the third one from this guy?
The final question, the request is Ada Cardano, which we kind of touched on, I think.
No,
or
not
have we
yet.
not? Okay, never mind.
I imagine it's probably about to go below its baseline here. Yep. It's going to close the day below the baseline. We don't have volatility yet, but we're starting to get momentum to the downside. I would say that's a no for ADA for now until we get some kind of long signal on it, which we don't have. Even the weekly feels like, this area is a top and it would need to pull back if it's going to be continuation on the weekly. So I'm not super interested in ADA USDT in this spot, but let's take a look at the Bitcoin pairing. Now this feels like we hit very strong resistance here. Resistance, support, resistance, resistance. Probably going to get a pull back to this area down here. If not a return, like a wick all the way down to this point of control down here. So I'm not super interested in ADA either way. I don't think there's much for us to do here, except it could be a daily short soon. But not yet.
There you have it. All right, Mr. Santos. Hope that covers your 3-pack of requests. We got another one coming in right after this. Here we go. Who do we got next on Breaking Bitcoin? And it's going to be BFlow, and he's asking for ORN USDT, as well as another one, but we'll get to that after we look at ORN.
Well, I guess BFlow is feeling orange today. Because orange? Okay. You guys got the joke. This feels a little too late to enter here. Is it? Let's run forward a day. Oh, and we just got a baseline too. That's nice. Yesterday we had an entry here. Because with a continuation entry, you don't necessarily need the volatility. There's technically a continuation long signal that you could take. You're late to it, but there's potential for continuation here. I just don't know if I necessarily like the daily signal the way it is. I would really like to see how we finish out this daily candle. If we have this big of a wick, I really don't want to buy into that. But Orn doesn't look bad here. I think this looks a lot more bullish than some of the other alts that we've looked at. I think it's worth keeping an eye on.
All right, BFlow, that's Orion for you. Oh, some other thoughts, Alex?
No, I'm just thinking, we'll add this to the low sat list. I think this is a new one, so pop that on our list.
Indeed.
Wing put in a big day, huh? What's this? Potential continuation signal at the end of today on Wink G. Wink. We'll see how the candle closes. What's next?
All right, next is going to be another one from BFlow, and this is AXS USDT, please. Axie Infinity. This is kind of new to me.
Well,
Blockchain-based trading and battling game that is partially owned and operated by its players.
I'd say that there's several things here to recommend this to us. We've got this really interesting inverse head and shoulders forming here on the day, with a breakout above that area. So resistance here, breakout above resistance. At the end of today, we will have a bottom above zero on time transformation. But WADA is not yet giving us any kind of signal. We don't have a baseline. So we don't have 60 days of data. I think you could probably take it to retest its high, to retest 60 cents. You could at least get like 10 to 15% out of this if you long it here in this spot. I think this is a decent trade. I think there's a few ways you can play it. Probably the best way to do it is to I don't know if it's the best way, probably the safest way to do it, which may make it the best way, is to slap Quadrigo on here on the daily close. I've got my stop below the right hand shoulder. I've got 3 ATR based targets, one of which is right around where the previous high is. I think the trade setup has a lot of sense to it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I would rather take this to long side than to the downside. We could see more sideways, but I think ultimately this trade would probably complete. So yeah, it's a good one, B-Flow.
All right, B-Flow, thank you for tipping us off to Axis Infinity. Interesting new token, gonna have to look into that. But in the meantime, let's move into the next request. We do have quite the list of them already accumulated, and this one is coming from AntCap Futures. He's asking we should check out OKE. This, of course, being the native OKEX token, I believe.
That's OKB. Is he talking about this New York Stock Exchange company, or is he talking about the OKCoin?
I had presumed it was OKCoin, but now that I have confirmed that it's likely not, I'm gonna guess that it is the ticker symbol you just passed through.
All right, let's do it.
This one's moving.
Yep, has been for a couple weeks. It's not that surprising. Sense. I don't necessarily see anything special about this chart to give us any sense of what might happen next. You know, at this point, it's bullish. We're holding a strong trend. We got a continuation signal Thursday or Friday, depending on how you want to count it. You know, we don't need this. We don't need the volatility signal here, but it's certainly helpful. So we get that at the end of here. So I think right now there's not much for us to do for it. You know, we've either missed a continuation signal or we just don't have a firm enough one yet here. But currently there's no signs to indicate any reversal. So if you're long it, I wouldn't get out. This looks like a with this gap up here on the 3-day, it could even gain some more strength. So.
All right, there we have it. AntCap Futures began a bit of an OKE analysis for you today. Something from the traditional markets. Next one, Peckham 08. I've been going through the order books. Actually, I covered this a little earlier. This was his bullish engulfing call. Next, T-Dub. I noticed T-Dub asking about this in the live chat. Where is the risk calculator for premium members? Question mark. I believe
it's in the Advanced Trading Journal.
Yeah, check out the Advanced Trading Journal, TW. If you don't have it, DM one of the staff members. I'm sure we can help you find it. But just check out your premium package and look for that Advanced Trading Journal.
No need to contact us. It is in the hashtag links section that is available to premium members. If you just search for the Advanced Trading Journal in that room, you'll find it.
Yep, correct. You check out the links sub-channel, you will likely find what you're looking for in there, and many other helpful resources available to the premium members. Moving along to the next request. Here we go. We've got Crypto Caveman. What's going on? Oh, I covered that one earlier. Yorick, XMR USDT said, great trade call, Alex. I did touch on that, but he does have another one coming up, and that's the Dragon Perp. Could we look at the Dragon Perp?
We did not. I was looking at it earlier today. It was holding fairly strong, but like the other alt contracts, it is currently dumping. So Dragon Perp is not related to Dragon Chain. I had originally assumed it was related to Dragon Chain, but Dragon Perp is actually an index, much like DeFi Perp, Priv Perp, Exchange Perp, but it's for Asian coins. So imagine TRX or VET, etc. So there, I'll let you look it up. You can check out index calculations. Nope, this is not. Anyway, FTX index calculations. You can Google it yourself. It's a single page and it tells you what's on all the indexes. Let's see. Yeah, so Dragon Perp is currently, it's in a no trade zone. There's not much for us to do here. It would be nice if we got a continuation on it, but for now, I imagine we're probably going to be retesting support, which is roughly in this area right here. Yeah, so you can see here, resistance here, this entire area being support, resistance again, and support with this wick down. So I think that's what we'll end up seeing here if Bitcoin continues dripping, which it has. Currently, Bitcoin is at 18,933. Sellers starting to step in. We're seeing an increase of volume here on the dump. Generally a rough sign. See increasing volume. What's next?
All right, Yorick Dragon Perp. Glad you posted that. But Yorick has one more, and this one is the ENJ USDT pairing, please.
Three-day looks pretty good here. I like that we've crossed above the three-day baseline. We're kind of hovering above support in this area. This area support here. On the daily, though, we're in the no trade zone, just kind of hovering around our moving average. So I think we're going to get a retest down here, and that's really the place to pick it up. So kind of a retest of this entire area right here. And that would kind of be a retest of our three-day baseline as well if we came down into this area. So I wouldn't necessarily be afraid to. If we close below this previous three-day low, then I'd want to be out. What's next?
Okay, that completes York's request. Moving into the next one, we got Boris Bitcoin. Thoughts on the Dixie? Looks like it's trying to put in the bottom and also seeing a time transformation buy signal. Maybe this is the trigger that's needed for your short to start playing out, Alex, says Boris Bitcoin.
Well, since you brought it up, let's look at the broader markets. So right now, on the Dixie, we're putting in some rather interesting bottoming behavior. You guys will recall I put in this line down here live on the show roughly a week and a half ago. This low is this high over here. So resistance, resistance, resistance. Now we're getting support on this spot. So this makes sense as a potential area for a reversal in the dollar. As I said, we've got some interesting bottoming behavior on intraday time frames right now. Which we see reflected in the Swissy putting in some interesting topping behavior. Now, this could be a simple retest for the dollar of resistance. Come back up, test this area for resistance, and then retest the lows here on the dollar. I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen. Same here for the Swissy. Come back and retest resistance as support. Little bloop. Come back down here, then get a continuation against the dollar. Or if the markets really melt down, we'll see everything just melt down against the dollar as we see the dollar melt up here, which would really crush dollar shorters in this spot. But we don't have any signals. We don't even have a lower time frame signal yet. We don't have a 3-hour signal to take long. Could get we don't have a 4-hour signal. Could get a 3-hour signal soon. Our oscillator needs some more work. And on the 1 hour, we're below the hourly baseline. So right now, there's not much for us to do on the dollar. But I want you to note that Bitcoin has been trading sideways for over a week while the dollar has been in a free fall. That seems kind of like a weakness in Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's under its baseline. That means weakness. But with the dollar being so weak, Bitcoin should have been strong against it, and it hasn't been. Now, if the dollar continues to rise here, well, it could be a nail in the coffin for Bitcoin. So this is definitely something we're keeping our eyes on. Let's head back on over to the broader Forex markets. Aussie Dollar is having a relatively strong day. As you can see, it's kind of down, and it has now been recovering for the Friday and today. This is a really nice recovery against the dollar here. We'll see how this ends up playing out, though. Canadian dollar here below the baseline against the Swissy. The Swissy, as I have been saying, has been really strong recently. Canadian dollar has been strong versus the yen, perhaps putting in a sell signal at the end of today against the right up against resistance right here. It's something to keep our eyes on. Swissy strong against the yen. Euro's been putting a lot of wicks up into resistance in this area, so area support, resistance. Kind of looking a little rough here. The Aussie dollars we know has been strong, but it had a few weak days last week. If the Aussie dollar continues to recover, I think we'll see it put in a movement down here against the euro. Euro was strong last week. It broke out against the had a big day against the Great British Pound today. So I think ANCAP futures got into this one. I had a fantastic entry here, but it was a scalp long, so I dumped it. I dumped it at resistance right here. Wish I had held on to it, but it is what it is. Euro putting in some signs of reversal against the CAD on the daily. 3-day looks rough here. I think we could see the euro break down versus the CAD in this area right here. What's the weekly look like? Oof, we just got this weekly close. That looks like an FU candle to me. I really do think we'll see the euro come back down and retest this strong consolidation area. So let's keep our eyes on this. We don't have a sell signal yet. We're not below the baseline. WADA's not confirming anything, but keep your eyes on it, guys. Euro Swissy weak, and we will have a sell signal at the end of today, which is good because The Swissy has been strong, and we see signs of weakness in the euro. This is a trade that makes sense, and our system is telling us yes. So what's this trade going to look like? Okay. So our stop's going to be all the way up here, below what is already marked out as a resistance level. That's good. Most likely the baseline will continue to wander up in this area, and the take profits all make sense. Looks beautiful. So screw the Euro CAD. I want to take the Euro Swissy trade. The Swissy's been strong anyway. Euro New Zealand dollar. I was in this trade. I took this on my account once we had a break here. This is very nice. But for right now, we're getting a 12-hour sell signal right here, and we've broken the trend on lower time frames. It's actually probably a good short down into this area on lower time frames if you're scalping Forex right now. Nice lower time frame signal. On the daily, there's nothing for us to do. We're above the daily baseline. Maybe once we come down here, we'll get a daily baseline bounce long trade, but until that happens, there's nothing we can do here for Euro NZD. Euro Yen, sell signal, but we're above the baseline, nothing to do here. Same for Euro USD. We could really get a reversal here on the Euro. We're getting a lot of sell signals. Something to keep our eye on. British pound, New Zealand dollar, rough day. Maybe we could take a short versus this. Probably going to get a cross under at the end of today. We don't necessarily need the volatility because this is a continuation trade. This really looks like a strong rejection, doesn't it? We actually took this trade as a group last week. We took the short here on the break of support. We got a nice PTP signal right here with a continuation long with WADA confirmation, and then took profit here, and then got stopped out right up here at break even. But we could end up coming right back into this, which would be nice because weekly support is all the way down in this area. So I think there's still some room here to short the British pound Kiwi.
I'll quickly.
British pound Canadian dollar looks what?
I'll just quickly point out a comment here from Philip Carr related to your Swissy analysis. He says, big Swiss bank deal announced today. Good strong move for Swissy coming out of it, maybe, says Philly. So apparently a big deal.
Most likely insiders have known for weeks, and that's why the Swissy has been pumping so hard.
There you have it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now in retrospect. Swissy has already had a big move the past week, so I'd rather wait for a pullback on our Swissy trades, but we don't need it for the Euro Swissy because that one is a go for our signal. As you can see, there's a lot of resistance in this spot anyway. The trade makes sense, and it's there on the daily. I love it. We've got to break a support here. Where I lost my place. We were looking at the British pound. British pound, Canadian dollar. Kind of ugly. Looks like it's going to break down out of this consolidation triangle. Kind of retest the lows here. We don't have a sell signal. Actually, I should say we did not have a sell signal here when I wanted it. Because we had gotten the cross under all the way back here. And so it didn't really meet the requirements for a 3-bar roll. It's a shame, but if we can get another move up and then move down, we'll be underneath the daily baseline. We get to short this. Same thing happened here. This one got away from me before I had enough volatility to take the trade. At this point, we're too far away from the qualifying line. Can't take it. We could get a sell signal on the British pound yen at the end of today. But I think I would rather take the British pound New Zealand dollar short. New Zealand dollar has been strong, as we know, because they are in the middle of summer. Yada yada. You guys don't need me to go through it again because I have been proven right through this whole trend. Oof. New Zealand dollar CAD. CAD had a really big day yesterday, or the New Zealand dollar had a really rough day. But I think this is a pretty good trade to take long on lower time frames. If you get another hourly buy signal, I think this is good for an oversold retracement, especially because, as we know, the New Zealand dollar has been long. And this is kind of a retest of previous resistance turn support. See here, resistance, support, resistance, support. Got it. Eyes open, guys. Yeah. But we weren't able to enter this trade, nor would we have wanted to enter this trade this far below the qualifying line yesterday. New Zealand dollar, Swissy. Maybe we should have entered this on Thursday. But then again, the New Zealand dollar has been pretty strong. New Zealand dollar yen, nothing to do here. Would be nice if we got a bounce off this area. USD CAD. As we know, the USD is potentially putting in a reversal this morning. In that case, I think we'll see that reflected in some of the we will, of course, rather, see that reflected in some of these USD pairings. I would love to take a good hourly long reversal signal if we get a breakout of any of this. I don't know if I really want to long against the Swissy, though. But man, the USD looks like it even wants to break down against the yen. So maybe we won't get that US dollar reversal. Maybe we just go right through the support, guys. That'd be crazy. But if that happened, we would probably see the markets really melt up at that point. Markets had a down day to start with, but they ended up at the end of the day up, kind of a big fake out. And it looks like we're good for continuation on the markets here. NASDAQ looks good for continuation right now. SPY's down. SPY could look a little rough in this spot. Might be getting a sell signal in this spot. But we're still above the daily baseline. I don't want to do anything with SPY yet. But it could be a sign of weakness in the market. So remember, SPY and Bitcoin are highly correlated. Bitcoin is also having a down day. Dow Jones having an even rougher day. Still inside of this consolidation wedge. These tend to break down when they're ascending like this, but they don't have to. This is also something for us to keep our eyes on. I think it'll be a good short if we do get a breakdown from this. Sorry, Quadrigo's kind of in our way, guys. There we go. You gotta admit, this looks pretty rough here for the Dow on lower time frames. Beautiful 4-hour short. I would want to take this 4-hour short on the Dow right here. But I'd only want to, it's only a scalp, guys. I would take it back down to this area.
I'll quickly point out a couple of comments coming in here. One of them is from Boris Bitcoin. Thanks, Alex. Great analysis as always. Philip Carr says, Alex, your 2020 Forex account must make impressive reading, I reckon. Top class analysis. Thanks, fella, says Philip Carr.
Thank you. My Forex account is up for the year. That's all I will say. Platinum, it's putting in a sell signal, but for right now, this feels more like a retest of resistance, turn support. Until we get some kind of break of trend, which we don't have, I think you should be looking for longs on platinum, probably on lower time frames. As we mentioned last week, platinum's been doing a really bang-up job versus really capital, quite a capital job versus the other precious metals. Silver having an up day. Oh my goodness! I think it broke the uptrend, or excuse me, I think it broke the downtrend. this is how I would draw the downtrend. This is broken. At the end of today, silver has broken this downtrend and retested. Look at that. Look at that. That's beautiful. I like silver here for a long, guys. I think it makes a lot of sense. We're above the daily baseline. We've got a full PTP signal. This is a silver long. All right. What does our quadrigo look like? 2 decimals is fine for gold or silver. I think this trade makes a lot of sense. We've got our stop below the most recent wick and 3 take profits all the way up to the most recent level of resistance. This is a beautiful silver long, guys. I would highly recommend this one. So we'll put this on our list. Maybe I'll put up a CFD at the end of today, even though I know there's not a lot of you who can trade CFDs. Palladium still looks rough after it got the smackdown last week. Still no short signal, but there's no long signal either. I just wouldn't do anything with Palladium here. Gold up off its lows, back into the previous trading range. BTP long signal at the end of today. Not as strong a signal as silver is. Silver is a much stronger signal, but this is a valid trade. So we may go long gold as well. This is something that we could take. This is not yet a break of the downtrend. I would much rather just long silver in this spot. The precious metals are too highly correlated for me to long both of them. So silver is a strong trade. Silver did not break down as much. Therefore, silver is our pick for the precious metal longs here in this spot. Sorry, guys. I still have quadrigo on. It's invisible to me when it's on if I'm not directly looking at it. I'm really used to tuning out all the lines on a chart and just looking at what I want to be looking at on the chart. It's a skill that you develop when you have as many lines on your charts as I do. I kind of want copper to pull back in this area. Just like 1 or 2 week pullback, then continuation. We'll see if that happens. I see some volume all the way down here. Man, look at this low volume node on copper. No one bought any copper in this area. Once copper passed like $3.33, it went all the way to $3.50, like right away. $3 and 1/3 of a dollar, all the way to $3.50. People like their whole numbers. Brent crude oil starting to look a little topped out. We don't have a sell signal yet. We don't have a short signal yet. We don't have a break of trend yet. But it looks a little rough. Here we go. This will work for our daily trend. If we break this line, I want to short Brent crude. As we know, Brent crude's been strong recently, surprisingly, considering that transportation still is not back. But on the wings of the vaccine news, people have had positive sentiments like, oh, things are going to go back to normal. Airlines, even though they laid off 90,000 workers, they're going to be doing more plane flying, I guess. Whatever it is that airlines do. People are going to be doing more driving for the holidays. It's true. But there's just so much supply out there. I was doing some reading this week. Currently, the amount of crude oil stored is right around where we were in March of last year. Do you guys remember what happened to futures prices in April when people ran out of places to store their Brent crude? Oh yeah, price went below a zero as people frantically were saying, I will pay you to take this oil off my hands. I don't know if we'll necessarily see that happen again, but if there's that much supply, I would expect price to go down.
Major glut.
Yeah. Corn continuing to be strong. Right now, I see sell signals on the weekly. We have a break of the weekly trend on corn. So I wouldn't want to go long here, but it's not really necessarily time to go short either. We're almost there. We need, if we could get like one more candle down, one more strong candle, I would short corn. But I think there's stronger trades out there. Natural gas has been really weak in this spot. Could be a sign of what's to come for crude oil. Soybeans, a little weakness. Still, I wouldn't short this. As we know, the soybean crop was decimated this year by the Derico. Justin, by the way, put on an amazing, fantastic soybean long earlier this year based on his inside information living in Iowa. But we exited in this area. I wish we stayed in it even longer. It was a fantastic trade. West Texas oil, you guys know the drill, same as Brent crude. Wheat, still hanging around a downtrend. Even on lower time frames, I'm not super interested in it. And we'll look at the broader economies of the world. Aussie is in our no trade though. We break down below the daily baseline. Then we're looking for shorts. China, a 50 sell signal at the end of today. No short signal yet. Euro's been trading sideways. Not super great looking here, but we could get a continuation. You know, actually, if you think about it, this could be really strong consolidation. Do we have a trend here? We've got a trend that's holding. Nothing to do here right now. It's definitely, it could go either way. I would love to see if we got a stronger curl on this, that could be a sign to take the euro. Excuse me, the euro A50. French 40 going below the baseline, not looking so hot. Hong Kong already below the baseline. You could argue that there is a PTP short signal that came in somewhere in this area. And if you took it, I wouldn't call you crazy either, because we just put in a swing failure pattern here for the Hong Kong 33, visible thusly. So I would consider that to be a rough sign, and we'll be getting a weekly sell signal at the end of this week, but the week has just begun. India 50 looks killer. If you can long it, get in there. I would even long it today. This just looks strong. This looks good for continuation. India 50. Oh my gosh. Japanese 225 just got slapped in the face. We don't have a full short signal right here. We don't have the volatility yet. But man, that's cross below the baseline. Break a trend. Very visible right here. Nice confluence for a short. Netherlands 225. Nothing really to do here. This looks like a continuation long to me. You know what? I stand corrected. There is something to do, and that is take a continuation long here. Because we're above the baseline. We've got a bottom above zero. Our oscillator is pointing upwards here. And we're getting a water signal at the end of today. We got the volatility and we got the momentum. So I say all systems go here for Netherlands. 225 or however many it is. Singapore, below the baseline, sell it. Taiwan, way above the baseline. This reminds me of the Indian chart. Look at that. Both of those are gold. Long them. NASDAQ, as we know, looks good for a long here. So this is similar story to Taiwan right here, where we kind of hovered sideways before breaking up above resistance. But we had a much higher high on the NASDAQ here than the Indian market did. Really big crescendo back there with the high in Tesla and everything. And finally, let's look at the Russell 2000. Big Friday, meh day today. I think we probably need to pull back a little bit more. But most likely, the Russell will continue making new highs as people pour into small caps. Then again, momentum has kind of petered out a little bit. We've had, I think depending on how you want to draw this out, if you start in this area, I bet we've got a red 9. But yeah, I think there's not enough momentum on this past weekly candle here to really say for sure that the Russell is going to continue. But this is a pretty strong continuation signal here with the break of resistance. So we broke trend support here and then made a new high anyway. So it is a continuation long. Something to think about. Something to think about with small cap. I think that's all markets, guys.
Yeah.
I did all the things.
You just marathoned that like a boss. So much thanks to Alex for pushing, pouring on the gas and clearing through a mountain of markets this Monday morning. But let's proceed. Listen, let me just take a look at the quick time. How long have we been going with the show? Let me do a quick check on the time. Yeah, we've been going an hour and a half. Perfect. That gives us about 30 minutes to fly through some requests because we got some good ones coming in, including a super chat that just came in from Steven Simonovich. But I'll get to Simonovich's request shortly. For now, Alex, you down to do a few more requests?
Yeah, sure.
You leave something in the tank for this part? Okay, cool. Let me see where we left off on the request front. Here we go.
Back over 19K on Bitcoin.
Indeed we are, Boris. Okay, we did this Boris question about Dixie. S. Hyatt. Can you guys look at S&P 500? I believe we did when we looked.
I did the thing.
Yeah, if you just scroll back maybe 5 to 10 minutes, Mr. Hyatt, I'm sure you might have noticed we did S&P 500 when we did major indices and all that. Let's take a look. We got one here from Fan Kintner. Kintner. Morning, gents. Last week I asked for CAN, not a coin, but a mining stock, Canan. Can we take a look at that? Yeah, can we look at the Canan mining stock? This is, of course, not traditional metals or commodities mining. This is an actual crypto mining firm.
So are these? I think these are warrants. Are these Canan warrants? Support, resistance, support. I think we're likely to see CAN pull up just a little bit more back to this area, retest the baseline, and then dump and retest support one more time. I'd really love to see us come down and test $3 before we continue onwards right here. But I do think this is overall a bullish pattern of movement here in this chart, and I expect to see some continuation. I think we have a linear trend here that's holding. This is a linear trend. So log, it's a little different. I mean, if you want to draw it here, you could even say the log trend is kind of holding. But yeah, I don't want to be long it while we're below the baseline here. If we do get back above the baseline and we curl up here on our oscillator and modifiers, then I think go for it. But for right now, we're just not there.
All right, there you have it, Mr. Kittner. It was a pleasure delivering up that juicy analysis. Moving on to the next one, though, we do have quite a few to get to. And this next one comes from T-Dub. And you remember we said BNB ADA pair? Well, according to T-Dub, that is an actual trading pair on Binance. Could you put up ADA? It's not coming up, apparently. Maybe ADA?
It's not on Chartex. Or, excuse me, it's not here on...
maybe it's ADA BNB by some weird chance, but I doubt that's even less likely. Oh, okay. I would thought BNB would have been a base pair, but okay.
I think this kind of looks the same as the rest of the alt charts. I mean, you wouldn't think it would because of how they should trade against each other a little differently. But this is also, you know, just about to break below its baseline, and then we'll have a potential short signal. We don't have any volatility yet. We're not pointed down, so we don't have anything yet. On the weekly, this also feels like we're trading at resistance. There's not fully at resistance, you know, support here, resistance. We're not quite there. We could pull up some more here, but there's just nothing on the daily to suggest that that's going to happen yet. And we're in the no trade zone, so there's nothing to do.
Okay, hope that covers the ADA BNB analysis for T-Dub. And here we go, next one. All right, Damian Hughes asks for, can we take a look at Link and Dot, please? And I also couldn't help but notice, let's see here. Yeah, pull up Link for now. Couldn't help but notice that T-Dub was also asking for Dot.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so this is the uptrend. We break below the uptrend here. We've retested it here. We're below the baseline. Pointed down on our daily oscillator. We don't have the volatility yet. We won't need it because it's a continuation short. Nice baseline bounce here. I think Link will look super. Think at this on the week. As you can see, we finally got a weekly sell signal last week. Yeah, I think it's time to short you at a Link in this spot. I think this might actually be the week to do it. Because, I mean, we didn't want to do it this week, or last week and the week before. We hadn't broken the trend. We were still putting in new highs, but now we're putting in lower highs. I'll tell you what, if we can break below $12, that will definitely be the time to short Link. I think there's probably already enough signals right now for us to take it on the daily, but we'll know for sure once we go below that $12. Oh, we're also below the weekly baseline here, guys, so that means we're below the 60-week average. Come on, that's bearish. Next. What else we got?
Okay.
Dot, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Dot was part 2 of this question. This also comes from T-Dub as well, and Damian Hughes.
Well, we have retested the previous resistance, rejected from it. We're below the daily baseline. And we do not have a short signal yet because we don't have enough volatility, but we definitely don't have a long signal, guys. I think this says it wants to at least break back down and retest the $4 range down here. I wouldn't long it here.
All right, there you have it. There's your Dot analysis. Let's keep moving along. We still have quite a few requests to get to. Can't linger too long. We got one here from All Infinity, and he's asking for REP, please, rep coin. take a look what Augur's up to.
I just don't see much to recommend this trade to us right now. We have a big wick up into support, into resistance, then a breakdown. But even the breakdown has kind of recovered. We're above the baseline. Too late to take a long signal. Resistance, support. Resistance. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to long this spot. This kind of feels like we got rejected from resistance again. But we don't have any short signal until we're below the baseline. So nothing to do here on rep right now. We'll look at the US. We'll look at the Bitcoin pairing. Similar story. We're not above resistance here at all. There's nothing really to recommend this to us. So nothing to do with rep.
Okay, All Infinity. That's your rep request covered. Moving on to the next one real quick. This one comes to us from this new member here, Ratchet Videos, saying holding 10% of his Bitcoin profits in gold. Is that a good idea? Question mark.
In gold?
Indeed, 10% of his profits. So I don't know if that's trading profits or just taking yields and moving them into gold. But 10% seems kind of modest, and therefore that kind of diversification strategy on the surface sounds pretty good. I'm sure a Philly Carr would probably concur. What do you think, Alex? Taking 10% of your profits, putting them in gold, or you don't think gold is the performer?
Well, I think it really depends on what your goals are. So we're traders here. This show is a trading show, not an investing show. I feel like gold is something that you buy as an investment. You buy it as a hedge against the potential future that the currency is debased, or the economy, especially if you buy physical gold, that the economy is going to collapse. So in that case, I think it's a very good hedge, because what if you end up somewhere where there's no internet, where you don't have any way to send someone Bitcoin? If there's some sort of future where that ends up being a problem, it's like, yes, there's the block stack satellite that sends out Bitcoin stuff, but if you don't have any electricity at your house, you're gonna have a hard time charging your ledger up, buddy.
Indeed, it's if Bitcoin is a form of financial prepping for you for the apocalypse, you'd probably be well served if you also prepped with a bit of gold, right? Bitcoin is one fail safe, but gold is also another fallback. So you may not be super happy with the gold bugs. Fudding Bitcoin and talking smack about your Bitcoin, but it's okay. You can kind of play in both worlds, have a little bit of Bitcoin, have a little bit of gold, nothing wrong with that. And in this case, Ratchet Video saying 10% of his profits in gold sounds like a decent idea.
Yeah, and then there's another way to look at it, which is, that you want to keep your money in something safe besides USD. But you're thinking, well, if Bitcoin drops here, if Bitcoin and gold drops, I guarantee you gold is not going to drop as much as Bitcoin does. Gold is not dropping 50%, guys. There's just no chance. Gold's never going to put in a candle like that, and it's probably not going to put in a 20% drop either. So in that case, if you're rolling your Bitcoin profits over at a high as a hedge against Bitcoin dropping, then that could make a lot of sense too. Maybe not as much sense as selling into USD, but gold has had several down weeks. It could have some up weeks. It could work out as a midterm trade. As a long-term investment, just purely about how much money you're going to make, dude, why would you put any of your money into gold? Bitcoin is the future, and you should. And if you're looking at the longest and even longer term horizon, then in that case, no, I wouldn't keep my money in gold. I would keep it in Bitcoin. But that being said, I also own some precious metals just in case of the future. I don't know for a fact the economy won't collapse. There's some slim possibility it could happen. I want to be protected against some slim possibility of something happened. So like I said, there's a lot of different ways you can look at it, and for those reasons, you could get different answers depending on how you look at it. But I don't think it's a bad idea, whichever way you look at it. It's just, is it, most efficient?
Mm-hmm.
It depends.
B-Flow here points out rather well, if we ever get to a point where we are bartering with gold, you probably need to have 2 other precious metals on hand, guns and ammo. That is a very good point. Well said, B-Flow. And I think that covers Ratchet Video's question, and we do have a few more to get through, so let's continue. This is also from Ratchet Videos. Is XRP worth stacking at this price to load up for a free airdrop to flip into Bitcoin? We didn't look at XRP yet, so maybe we can pull up the chart and maybe we'll try to answer this.
I feel like the place to pick up XRP for the next run is between 40 and 45 cents. We were looking at that area before, and I still like that area. There's so much volume to be tapped down in this range right here. And this area was the retest of the previous swing high. So I want to pull back into this previous consolidation range, and this will be where to pick up XRP for the next big run. On the daily, we're starting to cross below the daily baseline. We're in a no trade zone. Right now, I would not pick up Bitcoin for a swing long on the day. As you can see, we've just kind of consolidated in this area on decreasing volume and on decreasing momentum. I want to see a retest of this area. Let's, I think I had a better marked chart. Yeah. So here, this is the area I'm talking about. This area right down here. I think that makes the most sense. As things stand, we've kind of formed a point of control in this area. We're below it. We're starting to break down from it. So I would consider this to be all bearish signs. We could wander up and retest this area at 67 cents again. I see there's a little bulge of volume up here, which we've tapped a couple times, but I wouldn't be surprised to see shorters get early shorters get slapped in the face, and then we break down. But this is still where I want to pick up XRP, and I'm not putting on a strong reversal XRP long until we do get down in that area. Very, very, very good signs, I think, here on the VPVR.
All right. The other half of the question, of course, relates to the airdrop. They are dropping the what do they call that? The name
Flare,
is eluding me. There's that airdrop coming to.
I think it's Flare.
Flare, correct. Thank you. Flare, indeed. And he's asking about, is it worth getting XRP at this price in order to get the Flare, particularly if you're just gonna flip the Flare immediately for Bitcoin? That's tough to say because we don't know what the market we don't know what the market's going to price Flare at. It may be worth it if you buy it at this price and XRP stays at this price and you just sell it. But if you buy XRP at this price and then it does go down to 45 cents, then if you really gained money getting the Flare and selling it only to give it back, only to then lose 2/3, it's like a 33% drop. It's like 2/3 value on your XRP. And by the way, I cannot tell you how many times I have bought coins for an airdrop, and you have to hold them, and then the coins dump the day of or the day before the airdrop, and you lose all that money. And you ask yourself, did I actually gain anything out of this process, buying all this other coin up into the airdrop, only to have insiders dump on my heads? Indeed. Do you think XRP is not going to dump on people's heads? I don't know, guys. Indeed. There's one thing if you're holding bags of XRP for years, might as well claim your airdrop through that. But, if you're going to enter right here at this high, expect to potentially get dumped on post-airdrop. This is what all the hype has been in XRP land. But, do your research. If you think the Flare is super hot, you got to get your hands on it. this could be a good opportunity. So we're not going to dissuade you from doing that. Just be aware, you know, you might be hodling those XRP bags when they do dip to 45 cents, waiting for them to come back up because you don't want to take the loss. And same with the flare, you know, you might be hodling that for a while just to incur a bit of an opportunity cost. So even if you don't lose out in the end, there's always opportunity cost for leaving your money parked in 50-ish cent. What's XRP at now? 50-ish cents? 60?
No,
is it about 60? Cents
yeah, it's in the 60s.
Okay, yeah, so you might be stuck
No, it's
holding
actually 59 cents. It has broken back down below 60 cents.
Yeah, you might be stuck holding that 60-cent XRP for a while in order to claim your flare, and if you want to do that, you're okay with the opportunity costs, that's fine. But got to do some more research. Flare seemingly all the buzz in XRP land this week, but we kind of know how these things play out. Token drops, the airdrops come, then they go, and price pumps, and then it dumps. But maybe this time will be different. We will keep an eye on it. But moving on to the next question, let me take a quick look on the timer. Going an hour 45 minutes, perfect. 15 more minutes left to cover the last few questions. Got one here from Agency. Everyone's saying down right here, and he's not buying it. So Agency pointing out that the market's looking for a big sell-off, and he's kind of he goes against the grain, I guess.
Agency, being contrarian only works some of the time. It doesn't work every time.
Well said. Okay, next question is going to be from Yorick. Alex, did your TP1 hit on XMR? I only see the highest was 144.01, and I thought TP1 target was 144.05. So
I had 144.11 as the high on XMR USDT.
Could depend on the market, of course. But I presume York would already know that.
As you can see, right next to the ticker up here, it's 144.11. Open, high, low, close. See all the data right there. So yes, it just barely hit by 3 cents, and
nailed it.
Yep, and then I think we just got stopped out of break even. We'll see.
Word. Okay, well, hope that covers Yorick's question. I also see a comment just came in from Ratchet Video saying, thanks guys, valuable insight. Yep, it's our pleasure. We love talking all things crypto and investment strategies. And moving along to the next good question. Got a lot of good ones today. Monday is pretty busy on the live chat today, hasn't it been, Alex?
Yeah, sure has been.
All right, let me just quickly find the next one. All right, did we cover ETH in any depth? Because I got a question here from.
Nope, not at all.
Okay, cool. I got a question here from Andrew. He says he's asking for Ethereum, and then says scalp Ethereum long on the table if it holds this 4-hour bottom of the triangle. Yeah, so take a look at the 4-hour Ethereum is kind of what he's considering.
Mm-hmm. So I imagine this is kind of the triangle as he has it drawn out. I'd be looking for shorts, man. Especially with Bitcoin, how it is, we're dipping below the baseline finally right here. We've got a bearish divergence on our daily oscillator. We're pointed down here. This is telling me to be short, man. I don't see a 3-hour reversal signal. I don't see a 4-hour reversal signal. I see a 4-hour short signal right here. I mean, WADA is signaling hard in this area. We're below the 4-hour baseline. Our oscillator is printing a bearish divergence as shown here. See, price makes a higher high, the oscillator makes a lower high. Nah, no way, man. Ethereum's going down with Bitcoin right here. There's some alts that could withstand it, but Ethereum pumped really hard too in this area and needs to pull back. So I think Ethereum's also a short, or at least it's going to be at the end of today, and I may put it on for the group. We'll see.
25% market route incoming. All right. Andrew, hope that covered your Ethereum question, especially regarding the 4-hour. Moving along to the next request. Here we go. What do we got? We got 100k or 100 killa. Can you check Rose BTC, please?
All right. A rose is a rose is a rose is a rose.
This is, of course, the Oasis network.
This looks pretty good. At this point, we're above resistance. If we close the day anything like this, I would want to take it long for a continuation. USDT pair also looks good. Let's look at some lower time frames. We're still technically below resistance on lower time frames. Higher time frame resistance support is this spot right here. But it kind of looks like we already retested this earlier today. I think it still looks good for continuation on higher time frames. I don't know if we might pull back a little bit on lower time frames. Nice 12-hour continuation signal we'll be getting at the end of today. I like it. I like it. Unfortunately, we don't have much of a baseline to speak of, but everything else looks good. I think you could take it long. I think it makes sense.
All right, there you have it. That's the Rose request covered. Moving along into the next one. Let me locate the next request on this list. Seems like we're really flying along here. Next one's coming from Mr. Kobayashi. He's talking about the CME gap. 9,000.
I thought you were about to say Kobe Bryant, and I was like, don't even joke, man.
No, we're not playing those games here, but CME gap, 9,666 USD, gotta get filled. Maybe we could take a look at the CME gap. Do you think are we gonna have a 50% route in the market? Are we gonna touch 9,666?
Oh, yeah. So, guys, the CME looks just as bad as the regular charts. So we're finally below the baseline on the CME. We're still within the channel envelope right here, so it's a no trade zone. But most likely at the end of today or tomorrow, we're going to have a short signal on the CME chart as well, which, as people have pointed out, has been very reliable when it comes to when to be hedged up and when to not be hedged up, as far as being above and below the baseline. So we're about to be below the baseline on CME chart as well. So for those of you who are still trying to decide whether or not you're going to hedge up, I'm telling you, all signs are pointing to this being a nice area to do such. So I do think we're going to fill at least this CME gap here this week. I'd love to see us pull back down in this area and then try and fail to make a new high one more time. I think that makes a lot of sense. Right down into this area. This will kind of be support. And then retest this resistance here. And if that doesn't break, then we'll finally see sometimes. But this could be a 2 through 3 week long process right here, guys. So remember, as long as we're below the baseline, we're only looking for shorts. So we could get a few shorts in this area. We'll see.
All right, there we have it. Thank you, Mr. Kobayashi, for your CME request. I got a couple comments I want to highlight here. I see quite a few people in the chat. We kind of corrected us. The token that's dropped is called Spark, but it comes from the Flare network. So
okay.
Spark,
that I do recall hearing that. Now that you say that, thank you.
Indeed. A little clarification. This one comes from Cody. Thank you, Cody, for your insight. He says Spark token from Flare is half the total supply of XRP. I think like 45 billion, and they are only going to give you 15% every few months, so you will not be able to dump it all right away, right? So it's not an all-in-one airdrop. It's going to get trickled out a little bit, so maybe it prevents people from immediately flooding the markets for its sale. So sounds like an ordered claim, and if it gets trickled out 15% every few months, that might mean you're going to be hodling those bags XRP for an extended period of time in order to claim your airdrop. So sounds okay. Do your research. XRP might be
your own reason.
might be a viable hold, and the Spark token might be something you want exposure to, and this is the way to do it. So might be something to it. Got to do that research, but that kind of covers those comments from Cody. Thank you so much. Let me just see if there's any other comments here I want to talk about before I get into the next request. I did want to mention GBU Professor Wally did show up some point on the show and said hello, Mr. Wally. And I saw the same with David Rice. David Rice showed up mid-show and said hello, so hello David Rice, thank you. And here we go. Next question is going to be from did that one. Damien, oh, we did that one. And T-Dub's asking for FIL USD.
Filecoin.
Yep.
Last time I looked at Filecoin, it had been trading sideways for a couple months, almost. Still kind of trading sideways. So, big pump today. Big fake out pump? Maybe it's a fake out pump, maybe not. We don't have a baseline yet. But I would say we would likely be getting a long signal today because we've consolidated so hard. We're probably breaking above the baseline on multiple time frames right now with this. Yeah. If you're going to long, place your stop right below the bottom of the most recent candle right here. And then if we get below that, you'd want to be out. Other than that, there's not much really for us to do here. There's definitely not a short signal or anything yet. There's just, it's just been a lot of sideways trading. So I think that's probably the best way to handle this for right now.
There we go. There's your Filecoin request, T-Dub. Hope that answers that one. Moving along to the next one. This is coming from Philly Car, and he says, anyone see BlackBerry's stock price move last week? One to watch this week too. Yeah, BlackBerry, here I thought this was a defunct company. I guess they still have enterprise solutions, but according to Philly, BlackBerry suddenly doing things. Let's see what they are up to. Oh yeah.
I had a nice gap up. Trading sideways / consolidation. I would try and grab it on a pullback to support here on the weekly. I'd try and grab it right around $6.75. But I think we'll likely see continuation on this. This is a strong break of the downtrend shown here. Nice break of downtrend. Retest, staying above the weekly baseline the whole time. Staying nicely above the daily baseline here. But I do think we need to pull back, maybe close the gap, maybe retest our baseline, something like that. But yeah, it moved a lot, and it looks good in this spot.
For sure, it looks all right. Philly, if there's some big fundamental news on the BlackBerry front, be sure to post it in the live chat.
Oh my goodness! Look at this! Look at this monthly basing pattern. Oh, this is incredible. I would probably want to take this to like $15 for like a retest of this area. See if you can capture this. So this area right here, support. Obviously, we're going to test $6.75 as support one more time. That's when I would grab it, and I would probably take it for at least a 2x up to $15. It looks really incredible in this spot, guys, on the monthly. Look at that. Whoops. Okay, well, can't have the log on. It just looks really wonderful. No complaints. Good eye, Philly.
Yep, well spotted, Philly. Much love. Philly says, forgot to say, Mabel, my dog, had puppies overnight. Well, congratulations to you and your new
new litter.
New litter of puppies. That's the word I was looking for. You're a new litter. That sounds like a lot of fun. You can have your hands full for the next little bit. So all the best to Philly and his puppy mill, currently operating over in Manchester, England. There's plenty of good tech happening at BlackBerry, promise you that. Yeah, indeed, they focused clearly, you know, they lost the handset battle, but they've been focused on enterprise solutions, so clearly BlackBerry...
I hear they're building operating systems now for mobile enterprise stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess security is quite important on that front. Let's see here. What else do I have on the request front? Because we are drawing close to the end of the show. So here we go. Got to get the last few requests in here. And this one's from David Rice. David, thank you so much for bearing with us to the end. I know you posted this earlier. This is Zip BTC. Let's take a look at Zip. Of course, this is Zipper Coin, the cryptocurrency that operates on the Ethereum platform.
Well, it's not on TradingView. Let's try ChartX.
Yeah, maybe ChartX. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's an OKEX listing, and that's about it. It's been around for a while, since 2018. You still with us, Alex? Or
yeah, sorry, I got distracted by something. My bad.
No problem. Just wanted to make sure you didn't disconnect.
Zipper. Well, it certainly looks like a zipper in its price pattern. I don't know what to do with this chart. If you got some fundamental reason to pick this up, then I guess it makes sense. I would look to pick it up near some of its lows. You know, maybe around for 0.10 of a cent. I think I'm getting this right. Maybe around 5/10,000ths of a cent. But, no, 5/10,000ths of a dollar. Yeah, so that'd be 0.05 of a cent. All right. Yeah, but right now, I don't see anything on this chart where it's like, oh, we need to get into this. It doesn't even necessarily look like it's going to pump. It could pull back here. It could not. It's just so volatile. I don't even really know what to do with this.
All right. Well, David Rice, hope you enjoyed your Zip Bitcoin request. I
do have a couple of Uniswap shitcoins that look really good. Gather looks very good in this spot. As of today, we've got confirmation of breaking above resistance here. Cream, whoa! So Cream had a good day today, but then it pulled all the way back here on Uniswap. Now I wonder if it's going to break below resistance. Oh well. Cream was looking good. Now it got that big FU candle. ChartX coin itself looking okay in this spot. UWL. It's a Uniwhale token. This has a nice break of downtrend resistance. It's looking good. Curve kind of at resistance right here. Steve Wozniak released a coin, WozX. What does it do? I don't know. Steve Wozniak's attached to it. It's kind of interesting, if nothing else. I'm sure that people will probably pump the coin. I don't know what a good price is to pick it up or anything, but it exists. I have now informed you of its existence.
Damn, the Woz coin, eh?
Yeah, WozX.
Try not to get Wozed on this one.
Yeah. XFT holding above this resistance level. Turn support now in this spot. Lots of resistance still above us here too, but so far XFT's holding fairly strong. It's a trend right here. I don't see anything else that's really standing out to us. XOR, Sora, looks like it's about to break down from resistance more than it does like it's going to break through resistance right here. What else is there? I'm sorry.
I'm going to highlight a quick comment here from Damon Hughes. Why does your ChartX look so enhanced compared to mine? Asked Damon Hughes. You got the ChartX Premium, don't you?
Yes, I do have the ChartX Premium. So if you buy and hold ChartX, that gives you access to their premium features. So premium features include creating watch lists based on coins that you have sitting in your wallet. So these are all different coins that I have in my wallet right now. You can see some of them are up, some of them are down, but all of them are in fact in my wallet, and so that's why it creates a watch list based on it. You can make a watch list of your own, add stuff to it with a plus sign. It's still not a full TradingView implementation yet, but it has a lot of features that the other Uniswap charting platforms are lacking. For instance, I can save my charts. That's nice. I super need that. You know me, I draw lines all over everything. So I need to be able to do that. Being able to look at what coins I have are doing is really nice. I wouldn't call it invaluable. I mean, I suppose I could just flag stuff, but it's nice to be able to just like get them all in one place. Especially when I buy and sell stuff quickly, I might not want to be updating a watch list all the time. And then they're trading. You could trade on Uniswap from right here inside of their the browser. So I understand. Thank you so much. So yeah, ChartX. The coin is Chart, obviously. So you can see I own some, so of course I am concerned about what the price does. I think it's a good price. I know pre-sale got in around 2 cents, so it's long since under the pre-sale price. So anybody who wanted to pick it up and was worried about people jumping on their head, it's not really going to happen anymore. That is this area over here. Anyway, I think I answered all of those questions.
All right, well done. I got a couple comments we're going to highlight before we move toward the exits, guys. We got one comment here regarding BlackBerry. This one comes from Navanithan Sivabalavakaraja. I used to work there in the glory days. They definitely have a lot of crazy patents just sitting. So according to Navanithan Sivabalavakaraja, I hope I pronounced that properly. I'm just trying to challenge myself today.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
They have a lot of crazy tech just waiting in the drawer to spring on the enterprise world. So keep your eye on BlackBerry. Shoutouts to Navanithan. He's new to the chat, so I figured I'd highlight his comment. David Rice asking Philly what kind of puppies he's looking for a service dog. So Philly, get in touch with David. Maybe those puppies.
Philly has schnauzers. I'm not sure how good a service dog those things make.
Okay. There was another comment here I do have to get to.
Or was it miniature dachshund? I'm sure Philly will let us know.
He kept complaining about his bot never triggered for that. I think it was the XMR trade, which is unfortunate. T-Dub also asked, Alex, did you move the signal Waves to break even? Did Waves get moved to break even?
Waves was not my signal. Waves was an analyst signal. So you would have to talk to Jason or Trunker about that. Indeed. I did move my XMR USDT trade to break even.
Agency does say this was regarding counter trading, the popular sentiment, if you remember, and he says he does feel what you were saying, Alex, but reversals are when this type of strategy works best. So when the whole market's kind of waiting for that reversal, that's when most likely that this counter strategy is to be effective. Well, thank you, Agency, for your comment. I do have to get to the last couple of comments, guys, because we are heading toward the exits, and I did want to make sure everybody had their questions answered. Okay, this one here is what I wanted to highlight, and this comes from Matt Watson. I have PivX. Stratus, Steam, Hive, but I can't find a US exchange that allows me to trade these tokens. How do I go about converting these into Bitcoin or Ethereum for that matter?
Doesn't Bittrex trade those things?
They do, yep.
Hold on. So you said there was Hive. Hive, I know you can get rid of on BitThumb. I know it's not a US exchange, but I mean, you got either Uniswap or BitThumb. I have some Hive too. I bought some Hive during the pre-sale, which didn't do so hot. So I said it's not even on this. So
yeah, I guess Bittrex, I'm not sure if it has KYC at this point. If it doesn't, you'd likely be able to move your coins onto there, swap them for your Bitcoin or Ethereum. Also, some of those are fairly popular.
You said Hive and what?
PivX, Stratus, Steam, Hive. So definitely on Bittrex. I'm fairly certain all of those are on Bittrex. Yeah. Alternatively, there are CoinSwap websites you can go to. What would they be? There's one called Changefly. One's called Coinly. Changely. Let me pull up a list of these.
If I would use the decentralized exchange, man.
You definitely want to, but some of these I don't think are going to be possible to be swapped using a decentralized swap protocol. So I have used Changely. That's the one. Changely is one of them.
You're sure, Pivot uses its own chain, so.
Yeah. So Changely. Let me see here. I just kind of figure out. What other ones come to mind here? Oh yeah, Shapeshift is another one. Let's see here. But there is a list, guys. I don't want to spend too long. Yeah, CoinSwitch is one. SimpleSwap.io, ChangeNow.io. Guys, the list goes on and on. So there is a lot of resources that you can likely use. Some centralized portals out there that will help you swap some of those more obscure tokens potentially without using an exchange. But if you have to, just go on Bittrex. You can likely find that. And I also believe there's another website called like localethers.com or localethereum.com, something like that. Just Google local ethers, and I think they recently remodeled their website. They've made a bit of a marketing pivot, and now I think they're called localcryptos.com. That I think about it used to be Local Ether, and I'm pretty sure that you might be able to find somebody on there to help move some of those coins. So Mr. Watson, I hope that covered your question there. I do have to get to the last couple of requests here because I don't want to leave my homies hanging here.
Don't leave your homies hanging.
Let's see here. Damien Hughes says it's worth it just for the watch list. I guess he means the Pro ChartX there. Yeah. Matt Watson, thanks guys. I've been holding these bags for years. I need to reinvest them. Yeah, not a bad idea to flip these things into Bitcoin. Genuinely excellent show today. Cheers, says Peckham. David Rice, oops, ZIL BTC. Don't know where that came from. We did cover ZIL earlier, David, but I don't think we touched on ZIL BTC. Alex, do you want to take a quick look at ZIL?
I mean, alright. I feel like saying go ahead and long ZIL USDT was enough of the thing. It doesn't...
BTC in similar fashion.
It's kind of at resistance. I wouldn't buy it here. But you are getting a continuation long signal from yesterday. I don't want to talk about ZIL again. I'm done, guys. It's been 2 hours. I'm done with the charts. No, I'm done. No more alts.
That's it, guys. That's all we can stomach for today. I know Khalid Hazimi was asking for Raven USDT. Khalid, sorry we couldn't get to that. You know, it's been a long day. We did pile through a lot of them. But guys, keep these requests for tomorrow. We'll certainly slot them in tomorrow. But believe me, we did go through an absolute mountain of requests today, so I hope we cover them all. I'm going to do a quick check-in on Bitcoin. $18,950, still kind of droopy. Looks like we might be about to crater even lower, so we'll watch out for the next big move in Bitcoin. Alex, any further thoughts? Do you want to you want to call it, or do you want to hang around a little longer, maybe quickly touch on some news? How do you feel?
I would prefer to call it. I mean, I feel like I didn't see any super huge news stories that really need covering. And then, the G7 thing, I kind of said what I wanted to say on that early. I didn't know that we were covering, so.
Yep, no problem. What I will do is I will quickly... Okay, I'm just going to quickly pull up the news story on the screen here just to kind of share this with everyone before we go to the exit. This, of course, what many were predicting would be kind of the bearish news that preceded the dump today. Might very well still play out, but I doubt it's going to be necessarily brought on, precipitated by this story here. But of course, this one, the G7 nations speaking about the digital payment systems today, and apparently they still want to regulate them. Finance ministers are primarily concerned about private stablecoins. Indeed, it seems the concern on their mind, not so much Bitcoin, not so much Ethereum, but rather stablecoins. Leading developing nations today express strong support for the need to regulate digital currencies, a spokesperson at the U.S. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said today. Finance ministers from the G7 nations, from Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, UK, and the U.S., as well as the heads of the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and the Financial Stability Board, convened today to discuss the pandemic finance and to shoot the breeze about cryptocurrency, it seems. So it's like, what's the top of finance ministers' minds around the world? COVID economy 1, stablecoins 2. Today, Mnuchin's secretary said that the ministers and the governments reiterated support for G7 joint statement on digital payments issued in October. Of course, this was back in October when the G7 convened. They did make statements on digital payments, paving the way toward, more regulatory oversight. That statement on the 13th, digital payment services should be appropriately supervised and regulated to address challenges and risks related to financial stability. Although the G7 said that digital payments, which it defines as those alternative payment systems that handle fiat currencies, have the potential to make payments easier, quicker, and all that, but they got dangerous risks if not addressed. So a little bit of FUD coming from G7 ministers. Most importantly, they noted that the public sector is accustomed to controlling the monetary supply to ensure the safety and efficiency of payment systems, financial stability, and the achievement of macroeconomic objectives. So they're saying, as long as the monetary supply is firmly in control of this, of the so-called public sector, that was probably the best for the common good. And I guess the concern now is if it gets out of their hands, this may be bad for the end citizen, but we know how much big government cares about end citizens. Cryptocurrencies out of their purview unless regulated threaten the control of the G7. G7 thinks that any privately run stablecoin like Tether or DM, which Alex mentioned earlier, which of course, remember Libra, yeah, they renamed that to DM recently, if anybody's been following that. Not DM, but rather DM, like Carpe Diem, like Latin, should only be...
No, like per diem.
Oh, well...
Which is a financial term, yeah.
There we go.
Per diem.
There we go. Should only begin operation once they have adequately addressed regulators' concerns. It made this claim last year when it rebuked all but in name Facebook's Libra project. Incidentally, systemic risks that stablecoins potentially pose to traditional financial markets were recently brought to the forefront in the U.S. with the introduction of the Stable Act. Co-sponsored by Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, the bill seeks to force stablecoin issuers to seek federal approval, including the blessing of the Federal Reserve and the banking license registration, before they can begin circulating coins. When I read stuff like this is bad news for the guys running the printers over at Tether. The U.S. regulators will eventually come for you, whether you're hiding in Hong Kong or Singapore or wherever the hell iFinex operates out of. They're expected to get a knock one day, being that the stable coins are now on the radar, and what bigger stable coin than USDT. So just a matter of time before those get toppled. And as this article says, the G7 is likewise concerned with stable coins, but it's interested in state-run initiatives such as central bank digital currencies, which it thinks could help grease the wheels of central bankers. Indeed, all G7 nations have said that they're currently considering their own digital currencies, i.e. their own stablecoin issued somewhere excuse me, on the blockchain. Well, maybe a blockchain of sorts, maybe not quite a blockchain. We'll see how the development of central bank digital currencies actually unfolds. But that was kind of all I really wanted to cover in today's news. Again, the regulatory clock keeps marching forward. We go tick tock, one regulatory edict after another. So something we're keeping an eye on. Apparently these comments didn't do much to unsettle the markets today, like some had fudded about this morning. So back into the main scene. And that's it. We're heading toward the exits, guys. It's been a wonderful show. Thank you, everybody, who joined us this Monday for Breaking Bitcoin. Your live market updates come to you every day around 12 Central, 1 o'clock Eastern Time. I think, Alex, you're in the Eastern Time Zone now, aren't you?
Yep.
Awesome. So shout outs to everybody on the Eastern Time Zone. And I'm going to shout out the last few people creeping in the live chat. We've got about 50 viewers and 34 likes. Guys, if you haven't hit the like yet, what are you waiting for? Now's your opportunity. Hit that like button. We are going to the exits, so this is your last opportunity. So much thanks to everybody who was here. I'm going to shout out the last few names I see here. I see Philip, of course. Arnaud M asking for EXT. Arnaud, that's going to have to wait till tomorrow. Navanethan again. Haha, you're a champ for trying. Close enough. My pleasure, Mr. Navanethan. Let's see here. David Rice is in here. Peckham08. Genuinely excellent show, says Peckham08. Thank you so much. Matt Watson says, thanks, guys. I've been holding these bags for years. No problem. T-Dub recommends the Change Now service. Damian Hughes says it's worth it. And Philip Carr, great job, Alex. Good effort. Cody, you guys are the best. Thank you, Cody. We get Ben just showed up in the live chat. So what they're saying is it's cool, but we can't manipulate it. Indeed, that's some of the takeaway from this G7 meeting we can take. T-Dub, I do think that anytime you can push a button and create value, we the people should be able to regulate it. Be able to audit it honestly. Yep, that would be great if we had a bit of transparency between us and the central banks and all the print jobs they push to the machines.
I say to the central banks, you first. You first.
Yeah, they do interesting work over there in those central banks, guys. It's just a strange world we live in. But maybe a change is afoot. Certainly something we're going to monitor and keep our eye on. All the developments coming out of crypto and market land. But this is what we do. Time to go to the exits, guys. Bitcoin 18,983. See you guys tomorrow. Find out what the price is by tomorrow AM. That's it for today. Thank you again. Much love.
Trade safely, everyone. Have a good evening.
Cheers, all.